would increase during the stay-at-home pandemic have unfortunately come true. Calls to New York State's domestic violence hotline were up 32% year to year in April. And in just 1 month, March to April of this year, calls were up 30%. Two people who know firsthand how worrisome this time is for victims of abuse: Kimberlina Kavern, a senior director with Safe Horizons, which runs a victims hotline with the NYPD, and Yolanda Lawrence, president and founder of Ladies at Lunch, an organization very actively raising awareness about violence against women. Kimberlina, let me go to you first on this one. I've heard from a lot of victims of domestic violence who've said, with this pandemic, calling 911 or 311, they're afraid that they may not get a response.
I think it's certainly an understandable concern. We know that survivors have a lot of concerns right now while they're essentially trapped at home with their abusive partner. What I can say is that 911 and NYPD will absolutely respond. There's actually been a slight decrease in domestic violence calls to 911, about a 9% decrease here in New York City. But NYPD is still responding to 911 calls. Someone will come. If you call 311, you will absolutely get a response.
Yolanda, let me go to you on this one. What are some of the warning signs that a relationship is moving or a family is moving towards a domestic violence situation?
I often tell women that the signs come in for domestic violence, the signals come in early. And the signals are someone monitoring your calls, your social media, keeping you isolated. During this time, this is the incubator for abusers because you're isolated from your family, and that's what they want. They want to keep you away. Sometimes the jealousy and putting you down is the number one signs for what's to come in domestic violence relationships.
And Kimberlina, I know working with Safe Horizons that there are a lot of resources that are out there that people may not know about. Can you name just a few for us?
So at Safe Horizon, all of our services are still available, some remotely. We run the city's 24 domestic violence hotline. New York City shelter beds are still available and accessible. If someone wants to go into shelter, you can get assistance through the police. You can still file for an order of protection in the courts. Arrests are still being made. So most of the services are still available. They might look a little bit different as we work remotely.
Yolanda, in closing, what is it that you want people to know who are perhaps family members or friends of someone who is experiencing domestic violence?
It is so important that you check in on people that are in those toxic relationships. So you need to call them, check in to them daily.
Thank you so much. Yolanda Lawrence, Kimberlina, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Families throughout the tri-state area are struggling to put